My name is Gianni Russo, a.k.a. Carlo, the infamous son-in-law from The Godfather. I'm now known as the Hollywood Godfather, and this is my story.
Before all of the wins in my portfolio, I was a little boy diagnosed with polio. Experimenting with cures, I tried every one. Felt everything in my right, but my left was numb. Walking with a limp, like will I ever run? Once again, or is this it? Am I forever done? Living in the hospital was never fun. Some people were cool, but not everyone. You never know who you're lying in a room with. So I broke a broomstick in half and let it groove with the concrete in the bathroom floor. It had a new tip, stashed it behind the toilet in case I ever had to use it. Cause one day Dolores had a chat with me. Said she got word someone was coming after me. My heart started beating rapidly. I looked in front of me and back of me. Who thinks they're whacking me?
Speak softly loud and hold me warm against your heart. I hear your words, the tender trembling moments.
Welcome everybody. We're back with the Hollywood Godfather. And today's show to me is probably the most important in my life right now. And that's with all the things I've done in my life. For me to be able to say that going on 80 years of age, that's how excited I am of the two gentlemen that are joining us. I've been spending months with them in the studio, and you won't believe what I'm about to say, the fact that they're making me a rapper at 80.
Better late than never, buddy.
Yeah, hello. So Pat, my co-host, is here and co-writer, fortunately.
Hi, everybody.
The beauty of the show, who's the brains of the show, Megan Haran.
Yes.
Oh, right.
I had to get everybody's name right tonight.
Yeah, right.
How about the other two? Let's see how
And then we
this
got Joell Ortiz, the heat maker. And
I'm
gonna let them talk about who they are, because I tell you, I'd screw that up for sure. But I know one thing: they're multi-platinum guys. You'll know it once you hear the album, which is going to drop a week from this Wednesday, February 25th, in all mediums, whatever they call it. I don't know their language yet, but I learned drop. It's dropping at midnight.
That's right. That's right.
On all platforms.
All right, please, can you elaborate on who you are to our audience?
I'm Joell Ortiz, hip hop artist. I've been doing music since I was a teenager. Still active now. I've worked with artists of the names of Eminem, Dr. Dre, and
they were all on the halftime last night.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched some buddies perform last night.
No, I felt they were doing a commercial for us. What'd you call them?
No, it was fantastic. Yeah, man. So I've been at this music thing for quite some time, man. And being a part of this project is just astronomical to me, man. Gianni, your story is great. You're an even better human than an author. You know, you're a great guy, and I had so much fun in the studio with you. And to my left,
I'm Rsonist from the Heatmakers production. I've done work with from Lil Wayne to Beyonce to Rick Ross to Fat Joe to the list just goes on and on. But again, to echo Joell, this project to me is probably one of the most interesting projects I've worked on in the last 10 years.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Probably about the last 10 years, because again, like I told Gianni before, man, a lot of rappers rap about a lifestyle that's similar to his, but they're making things up. You know, like this is full authenticity, man. And I appreciate him sharing his story with us and giving us a chance to actually make this project.
The meshing of these two worlds is so fantastic, man. It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
How did you two guys get together? Three guys get together?
Through a mutual friend. Well, actually, somebody by the name of, and Gianni could correct me if I'm wrong, but a guy by the name of Julio, he knew Gianni previously. He brought him through to a friend of ours named Bobby, who's he owns Azad Watches, and our studio is right upstairs from Azad Watches. He brought Gianni up. We met and just tossed around a couple ideas that had nothing to do with this. and somehow it turned into this. I can't even really describe to you how it happened, but it just turned into our first meeting, to him telling us a story, to now us putting together his story as an album.
Yep.
I tell you, you really walked into it. I mean, this is the first time in publishing history that a book has been translated into hip hop, into rap. It's the first time. You guys broke ground.
Yeah, and that's what's almost scary to me. It's like we broke ground, and now it's almost like, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's so new.
Well, what do you do after this?
Yeah, there's no territory like this. Like you said, this is fresh ground right here. Like nobody stepped on this ground yet. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, that's where I think that's going to separate us from other people. When we figure out exactly how to master this market, because we're learning on the job. Like, all of us are learning on the job at this point, because we did what we know how to do. Now this is the heavy lifting part right now. It's trying to get people to understand what we already understand.
Well, the story is going to loop them right in anyway off the rip. The minute they hear what's going on, they're not going to give a crap about what category it is. They're going to be like, what I just heard is something I've never heard before in my life. And however I got to support it, I will. And I know it's going to take shape the right way.
So once the publishing industry gets a hold of this and says, wow, I want a part of this.
Right.
It's always nice to be the first kid on the block,
Yeah, and we'll let Gianni handle those meetings.
They heard about some of my meetings.
Yeah.
I'll give you a minute of my time.
That's right.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
I locked the office door. They never got out.
So how did you guys, do this research and prepare to write these tracks, and what went into that whole process?
It was the mixture of both, reading the book, listening to the Audible, and also just conversations with Gianni in the studio when he'd come by. We kind of just vibe out. We talk about, his life, some of the stories, what he'd like to highlight, maybe we could hold off for the next round of things. But it happened organically, and we all kind of agree, see that what you just said there, this has to be told. And then we just vibe out from there. Arsonist would begin milling over some music in his head. The conversations would continue. And then that would usually happen on a Monday. And by the time Gianni came back on Thursday, we'd have something for him to play. And then, we build on it from there. So it was conversations mixed with a little bit of research. But I always like the conversations more than the research, because hearing it from the person himself, it just stuck to me more. It just stuck to my spirit more. And my creativity juices just started flowing easier that way.
Well, that happened 3 years ago with Pat. I never met Pat in person.
Wow.
We wrote the book over the phone.
We wrote the book over the phone. But every time I told him a story, he wrote another 2 chapters.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was just like, and we had agreed early on too. We were like, you know what? Because Gianni told us 12 is his number. It's been his number since he was a little kid. So he's like, we're gonna do 12. But every time he talked, I'm like, wait, this kid needs to be 50.
Yeah. Well, 12 chapters, 12 songs, worked out.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's
what impressed me, as an outsider looking in. I mean, I'm not much into rap. I am now, but the music is so haunting.
Wow.
I mean, the music alone tells the story. It sets you up for the vocals, don't you think?
I think that was the goal for me. I didn't want to make it feel like traditional hip hop or any type of traditional music. I wanted to be more about a feeling than anything else, because again, his story is so crazy that I didn't want the music to take away from his story at all.
But you accomplished.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That was one of my main things.
And I want our audience to know that we have spent 3 months on this. This wasn't like a overnight thing. We're in it now 3 months, over 3 months right now.
Yeah.
And now we're meeting. Now we're strategizing once a week, just discussing where should we go? Who's the best home for this? Is it Amazon? Is it Apple? Where? Because we need a big company, because in the audiovisual, or what do they call it now? What do they call that? You guys do it. You look through those glasses. virtual.
Virtual reality. Yeah.
Yeah, virtual reality. That's a whole other world. And we want it handled right. We want a commitment for big money, not for us, for the production. The rest of the money will come. Right. Because it only will lend to what this audience is going to hear next week when we drop this. I mean, every track, and there's 12 tracks, as he said, and they were very sensitive to a lot of things I wanted. You know, I have clothes older than them.
And the Sea Island, those are Sea Island cotton shirts, you know?
The Sea Island cotton shirts, that's right. But, you know, it's been such a collaboration for me at my age with all the people that I met. And we were trying to count, just for our audience to understand, how many names and important people are in this. I think we're up to 80-something names. A lot of them was Any Given Sunday Film, but we mentioned like maybe 80 important people in this whole collaboration. And we're talking about presidents, we're talking about popes, we're talking about dignitaries, every celebrity in the world. I think the most sensitive track, and I think we'll all agree to it once everybody hears it, we do already, is the Marlon Brando, 4 years of his life. I mean, what they did to the last 4 years of this man's life, you want to cry. So, I mean, there's highs and lows in this, and there's a journey
Don't forget it's timeless, Gianni. Don't forget this doesn't have any time span on it. This could last forever because, again, it's your life. So, you know,
it's part of history.
Right. Yeah. It's like a story out of a history book. Yeah. Lasts forever.
No, but I mean, you know, you don't know the history behind Megan being with me. I met her in church 2.5 years ago on a vacation.
Yeah, 3 years now.
Right.
Wow.
And she was with her sister and brother and mother and father, and they were sitting in front of me, all holding hands, all praying together. I don't see it anymore. But again, that's something that, you know, in my life, I go to the hotel, they're staying in the hotel. And her mother didn't know that I was sitting behind her, but she loved the movie The Godfather.
Oh, wow.
Who does?
Wow.
And then her father said to me, my daughter just graduated Fordham, and all she wants to do is be in this business. So we talked at the pool. And Pat and I knew we needed a millennium. Is it a millennium?
Millennial, yeah.
Millennial, yeah.
A millennial with us. We're two old guys.
Yeah.
And we brought her on, and she got an audience first. They didn't want to look at us. They want to look at her.
Everybody needs a millennial.
But that's how crazy this my whole world has been. Most of you know it now, how crazy my life is, but there's a reason for it. Like Joel said, you got an angel on your shoulder. Then we figured out it ain't an angel. It's got to be bigger than that.
Yep. No, but it's a testament to what we spoke about the other day when it was just like how you chose to live your life. You got out of the way of yourself. Like if something presented itself to you, you embraced it, you seen what it was, and you saw it through. You didn't judge anything as it came. You just kind of identified it and said, all right, let me see what this will bring to my world. And that's how this project happened. And it couldn't have happened any better, man.
No.
Megan, you know, I've known Gianni for 5 years, and we started this book together, and then, you know, the rest is history. And we talk to each other a lot. I mean, I'm in Western Pennsylvania by Pittsburgh, and he's in New York, obviously. Mm-hmm. But every time he calls me and he leads off the conversation with, "You're not going to believe this," you know. And I said, you know, after like 6 months of that, I said, "Oh, yes, I am." Yeah. Always coming up with these ideas, you know, not stop. I said, "Whatever drugs you're on, could you send me some?"
No, I learned so much from Gianni, man, and yeah, I don't know if I ever told him, but I'm just saying, like, even though you hear the stories and you say to yourself, all right, this is going to be something fantastic and wonderful to write about, you learn some things in there too. You get what I'm saying? So like, I've learned little gems. Just the fact that, you know, he overcame being sick as a kid, and you know, he wore that with him, you know, when he got healthy, and he's just like, you know what, from here on out, I'm gonna make it count. Like, you know, I go home after these, you know, after creating music, and I try to apply certain things to my life. You understand? Like, so although it was a musical project for me, it was also a learning experience, and I would have paid for this.
That's true.
Now you tell me.
And believe me, he will take a check, cash, or money order.
Why don't we tease with one track before we continue, please?
All right, let's do it.
Hold on, let me
Set it up first.
Yeah, you set it up.
So this would be the first track that this is the track that we actually did first to kind of, I guess you would say, get Gianni's attention and let him know what was on our mind musically. So this would be chapter 1. This is his first Kill at 12.
My name is Gianni Russo, a.k.a. Carlo, the infamous son-in-law from The Godfather. I'm now known as the Hollywood Godfather, and this is my story.
Before all of the wins in my portfolio, I was a little boy diagnosed with polio. Experimenting with cures, I tried every one. Felt everything in my right, but my left was numb. Walking with a limp, like will I ever run? Once again, or is this it? Am I forever done? Living in the hospital was never fun. Some people were cool, but not everyone. You never know who you're lying in a room with. So I broke a broomstick in half and let it groove with the concrete in the bathroom floor. It had a new tip, stashed it behind the toilet in case I ever had to use it. Cause one day Dolores had a chat with me. Said she got word someone was coming after me. My heart started beating rapidly. I looked in front of me and back of me. Who thinks they're whacking me? Some weeks passed, no one's made a move. Maybe I was the wrong dude, maybe she's confused. I'm sitting on a bowl, flipping through the news. The bathroom door closes, I see different shoes. Shoes that don't belong to a patient. Back and forth pacing, I'm waiting in a stall patient. My numb arm propped up the guy that tip. He tried to come inside and shit. With all I got, I drive the stick through his chest and came out his back. Directly through his heart, safe to say it's a wrap. He came for me once and he ain't coming back.
My first kill at 12, and that was that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's crazy. It just goes, I mean, it's magical, actually. And I mean, I hear it, and tears come to my eyes because I relive so much of it every time we do these things. It's very emotionally draining. So I think and what you said earlier, Joel, it means a lot to me because I want all the listeners to listen to these tracks and identify them and apply them in their lives, because it's a lesson in life. And you know, don't go through what I went through, and don't try doing what I did, because you'd be doing a lot of time now. There's too many cameras around.
Too much tech out there.
Yeah. But it's so ingratiating, and like we had a meeting Thursday night, and we're baffled of who do we bring this to? And we have from the top to the bottom of the industry, and we don't want to mention their names because he already mentioned a few, and 2 or 3 of them are really our choice, and we don't want to let them know we're thinking about them yet. And they ran the industry. I mean, that's what it's about. And somebody that would take a chance with it, because that's the other thing. But and then it's the distribution, which I'm still very prone for Amazon. They have the budget. They have it all. We just sit back and collect coupons on that one.
Yeah, what can you guys tell us about the plans for release, and how do you think it's going to be, received by the public?
Well, we got some advice, and let them know, Arson, how we're releasing it on the 25th.
Well, for now, we're gonna do it pretty much basic. We're gonna put it out through a company called DistroKid, and all they do is pretty much they'll distribute the record for us. We pretty much keep 95% of they'll take their 5% for distributing the record, but it's just this is just the outlet to get the music to the people. Like DistroKid, they're not it's not like back in the days where you'd have a major label and you would get the record promoted and they would give you a budget for videos. This is pretty much, we're gonna give you the music, we're gonna put the music on all the major platforms, the Spotify's, the Apple Music's, the Google Play, Google Play, the titles. And so again, this is really us against the industry right now. We don't have a bunch of back and we don't have a bunch of help. It's just 4 or 5 guys putting their heads together to try to figure out the best way to push this product.
And we're hoping we get somebody's attention while we're rattling we're rattling a lot of people behind the scenes after the 25th and letting them know about it and taking meetings with them. And hopefully we get the reaction we think we will from the public itself. And that's it, basically.
Okay, can I say this? Everybody I've ever played one for wants to hear the next one and the next one and the next one. I've never played it for anybody that was satisfied with just hearing one. Haven't done it yet.
Same.
So I know that we're on to something.
Yeah, it certainly helps. It certainly helps that it's a true story. People want to know.
Right, exactly. I think that's when people find that out, they're like, yeah, play the next one. This really happened? Play the next one. No, he didn't do this, did he? All right, play the next one. It just gets more and more exciting as it goes on. So I don't know, man. I think people are gonna love it. I want people to give it a fair listen.
It's crazy. I played it for my wife finally, right? Because my wife, she rips and runs. Like she has like a busy job and she's always consumed. And I finally got her attention like a couple of days ago. And I'm like, I want to play you this Hollywood Godfather stuff. And she was like, all right, I got a couple of minutes. We're in the car. So I played one and I see her, she's just staring off and she's watching. I'm like, all right, cool. She's like, that was good. Play the next one. Played it. Like I played up to like 4 and she stopped it and she was like, you wrote that? I was like, yeah, I wrote that. She was like, play the next one. I played number 5 and she just came. She was just like, I gotta meet him. This is all true. I said, yes, this is all true. She was like, no, seriously, when's the next time he's in the studio? I gotta meet him. I was like, you're married.
Oh, that's so
yeah, man. She was swallowed up. Like it's incredible, man. So like, yeah, although for now it's just DistroKid, they're just an avenue, vessel, for people, a vessel for people to listen. Because once people listen to this is going to take on a life of its own. I'm 100% confident in that.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The book sells the music sells the book.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, we were making the records 1 or 2 at a time, but there was one day when I actually sat down and listened to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way at this point, all the way up to 8 at that point. And I surprised myself listening to it. I'm like, this is because I never listened to it as a body of work until that day. And when I listened to it, I'm like, this is even better than what I thought it was.
And you guys will notice, like when you actually hear it, there's moments where Gianni comes in to sort of authenticate it, but it feels so powerful. I don't want to let the cat. It feels so good, like for him to be a part of the music too. It's his voice, his presence needed to be felt, and you feel it, man. You feel these stories, these chapters.
As a whole, 12 songs, the entire package has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The entire thing. This is not one song going to another one with a different subject.
Right.
It's Gianni's journey.
Right. Yes.
And that's what also makes it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all one story, not 12 songs.
Right. You're right. I didn't even really think of it that way. It's like it's one great song broken down into different parts. Like it's like a seamless listen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, this is like asking who's your favorite kid. But what's your favorite track?
Me? I'll speak for myself. I know me and Joell are probably gonna have different ones. The Pablo Escobar one is one of my favorites, and it's a hard one because I love Chapter 1. But that might sound unfair because it was the first one we did. But Chapter 1 and Pablo Escobar Story are my 2 favorites as far as listening wise.
How about you, Joell?
Can I get two then too?
Yeah, you're allowed.
You can get 3.
You
wrote them all.
Hey, nah, you got your two. I'll say the last 4 years of Marlon Brando's life is very, very touching. And you know, immediately with that track, because of the violins and the music, and then just the message and just the unfortunate events that took place in that man's life, it immediately sucks you in, and you're in there. You know, you're submerged in that song. So that's one of my favorites. And then Gianni trying out for Carlo Rizzi on The Godfather. I love the energy of that. I just love the way it's up tempo. Like we said, this whole album is a ride. It's up and down, and that's one of the highs for me. That's one of the like, oh wow, this is. I could see it. I hear the song, but I see it.
And can I say I love them all? I don't want to don't make it sound like I just love two. I love all of them. But if I had to pick my two favorites, I would say those two: the intro and Pablo Escobar story. But I love them all. Don't get me wrong.
So far, I've only heard the first 8, but I agree with the Pablo Escobar. That's the powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
Was there any one or part of Gianni's story that was particularly difficult to put into rhyming lyrics? I mean, it's a testament to your talent how you guys were so easily able to do that. But was there any that was difficult?
Well, he's a writer, so give him the credit for the writing. I don't want to take any credit for the writing. I produced the music, but I'm sure it was somewhat the same process in the sense of how we had to figure out what goes to what. Like even with Joell, he had to figure out what energy to bring to certain tracks, how to attack it, how should he say it? Should he be more laid back? Should he be, you understand? So it took thought, but at the end of the day, his story is so interesting that you want to bring it to life.
Right.
Yeah.
For me anyway, you know, like I want people to hear what he's telling me. Like I call him, ever since I met him, I've called him Forrest Gump. To me, he's everywhere with everybody, you know, and people might not know, but he was everywhere with everybody. So to me, I just look at him like Forrest Gump. So making music for him is like, you just I have to be real particular because I don't want to screw up his story at all, musically.
I think the hardest one for me to write in particular was the first one because it was fresh. I just met the man. We spoke a couple of times. We agreed, you know, hey, you know, let me see, you know, let's see what happens. Let's see what you got. And it was such a touchy subject. Like, so not only is it the first thing that he's gonna hear, but it's like his childhood and his struggle with polio. Like, how do I, you know, I'm about to impress him. I'm about to attempt to impress him with some of the more downtime of his life. You know, like, so it's just like, you know, what do I dive in? Do I try to not make him feel sensitive? And then while I was writing, I was like, no, I need him to hear this. And unfortunately, he needs to go back there in his head. And then I know if I can do that to him, we got this. We're going to do this from here. So, you know, I dove in. I try to just imagine what it must have felt like to be him, to be that young, to have to struggle and fight with something that was out of his control for a second. And paint that picture of what it must have been like, you know, because I can't relate. I just have to try to understand and put myself there the best way possible. But this is the first time he's going to get an impression of me as a writer, Rsonist as a musician, you know, so it's like, damn, this is going to be tough. But, you know, I played it for him. He looked over to me and Gianni will tell you, he had tears in his eyes.
I was crying. I admit it, man. You did so well. You brought so many memories to me that energized me early on to get out of there. So many kids were not, they gave up. But I mean, the way you wrote it, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I broke down and cried because, I mean, that's how well it was written. And both you, the music embellishes the writing embellishes the music. These tracks are unreal. They're unreal. And it's
I will hear a tease from another one.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hold on. Let me do it. So I'll do it in order. This is a piece of chapter 2. So this would be what was chapter 2 about? Chapter 2 was
my first lesson.
Okay, this is when he met Frank Costello and Frank Sinatra. But I'll play you a piece.
Hate makers.
Now my mafia education's about to begin.
Living inside a bakery, a small boy then. Corner to corner, hustling my ballpoint pens. I flooded my whole neighborhood with ink. So what's up now? I moved the operation, hit the train station uptown. I remember this one day was mellow. The sun was high in the sky, it exuded the brightest shades of yellow. Was on this day I met a major fellow. He saw me out there selling pins, gave me a 5 like he was saying hello. Well-dressed gentleman with one dude next to him. I'd seen him around, in and out the Sherry Netherland. But now not a day goes by without him walking over, handing me a 5 and placing his hand on my shoulder. Felt like I made a new friend until I got word Sicilians touch cripples for luck. And so when I heard that that's what he was doing, my anger went through the roof. I ran and bought a rabbit's foot and gave it to him as proof that I'm no pushover, no 4-leaf clover. He asked me where I'm from, so I told him. Turns out he knows of my Uncle Angelo. Before I know it, man, he had rolled up $200 bills, hands them to me and says, you know what? Now that I bought all of your pins, how about you run some errands, in and out, few envelopes, in some friends' directions. Familiar with the Waldorf? I say yes in a second. Well, tomorrow meet Blackie under the clock at 11. And don't be late. Don't you ever be late. He walks off, I stop the hotel worker. I say, wait, you see that gentleman behind me? You know that fellow? He says, the ambassador? I say, ambassador. He says, hello. It's Frank Costello.
That's crazy.
No more explanation.
Oh, man.
And you know, we haven't touched on this yet, but speaking from the older generation's perspective, it can be easily understood.
Yes.
Wow.
And that was honestly, that was one of my concerns as far, not saying with him, because I know he's clear, but with this whole project was people have to understand every word. Because
Absolutely.
I think there's a stigma that comes along with rap where it's like, it's not understandable. It's just a bunch of noise. And I think what the message we got across is that with good rap, you can understand everything. And it makes perfect sense.
And it does, and it did. Absolutely, man.
Content, you know, the content is what pushed it forward.
Yeah.
You know.
And how's
Yeah.
Megan thinking about all this? This is not in your age group anymore. I know you above it. Or were you ever into rap?
Yeah, I'm big into R&B, hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking of what you're hearing here and meeting these
Amazing.
gentlemen?
And, my mom was into, old school. I don't want to say original rap. It's not like I know much about that, but it kind of reminds me of that, where it was more storytelling.
Right.
And very clear and coming from personal experience and heart and soul. So that definitely comes across very well. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, one thing I was trying to make sure, when I was writing this was that it could be consumed and it was light on the ears and you didn't have to struggle.
Figure out lines.
What was going on. It's theatrical. I was trying to write it from like a Broadway perspective. Like if this was a play, how could you see it? What would happen?
Which one day it should be? Let me throw that in the air.
It should.
One day it should be.
Wouldn't that be?
Which one day it should be? Because listen, man, like it just should be. We'll talk about that one-on-one. We speak to each other, but it definitely should be.
Yeah, all we need is a phone call from Gianni. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't believe this.
I'm not going to believe this.
No, it's all good, man.
I don't think there's anything anymore that amazes me about this guy.
Same.
At all.
Same.
Well, let's take a minute. We'll make some money. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We know where you live. Today's show is being sponsored by Corleone Fine Italian Food Products. This sponsor really means a lot to me. Corleone Fine Italian has taken the heart and soul of the Godfather films and created a line of food products that include pasta sauce, balsamic vinegar from Modena, Italy, Genco extra virgin olive oil from Sicily, tomato basil, arrabbiato, and my favorite, Clemenza's meat sauce. You will be amazed. You will think your grandmother made the sauce herself. CorleoneFineItalian.com. That's CorleoneFineItalian.com. All right, we're back. And we're back and so excited about the show for you who are just tuning in. I'm about to become a rapper at 80 years old. And I'm going to do it. Watch me win a Grammy. But we've been talking about it. If you tuned in late, go to this episode, obviously, and figure out what's happening on the 25th, a week from this Wednesday night at midnight. And you're going to hear something that's so phenomenal. And to be able to say that collaboratively, all of us here, created something that's never been done in music. Never been done. Who could say that? Music, I mean, Jesus listened to people play the harp, but here we are. No, when you think about it.
We put a date on this episode so they can't say they did it before us.
There you go.
People will try to take credit. We got to make sure we time and date stamp this interview.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know, when Gianni first told me about this, and he had the first 2 tracks, and he said, "What do you think?" So I said, you know, I'm thinking to myself, it's not so much what I think, it's what somebody who knows hip hop thinks. And that's when I bounced it off my son, who I mentioned before. He did a lot of open mic hip hop when he was in college. He loves it. So I told him what we were doing, and he gave me this look. You know, they're 2 old guys. You know, how did they get involved in this? So anyway, he pushed the track in his on stereo in his car. He's got a lot of speakers. He's got a big BMW. And I was in the car with him. He was just blown away. He looks at me. He said, "How the hell did," well, he put it differently, but he said, "How the hell did you get this idea?" I said, "I can't take the credit for this." He said, "This is breaking new ground. No one has ever done this." He said, "This is fantastic. And if you don't keep on giving me these tracks as they're done, I'm gonna give you up as my dad." He just absolutely loved it. And every time I talk to him, "Hi, Alex, how you doing?" He says, "Where's the next track?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing fine, too."
Wow.
No, and you know, this is your normal fan base, but look how you're expanding it.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's fantastic.
No, I mean, it's I can't wait for Mondays and Thursdays. We collaborate, we hang out, and we hear more creativity. When I go in that booth, it's like insane.
Yeah, and I notice a little pep in your step when you're like ready. All right, cool. I'm going in now. You got to cue me up. Like, you know, it's fun. We're at the end of it all. We're having a blast. And, you know, that's what it's about. You know.
You know, as one writer talking to another, Joel.
Yes.
Writing is a solitary experience, and if you're not having fun, you're not going to be successful, and you're going to quit doing it.
1,000% correct. 1,000% correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I must look nuts to my wife because, like, when I was writing this, I'm just walking around my whole house with the headphones on, rapping to myself. But I can't say this. She's like, "This guy's crazy." But I was so lost in this. I loved it. I loved the whole process, man.
That's sweet.
No, it's been a great journey. I mean, I mean the reaction. I'm not expecting a lot because I won't be disappointed because you know what we're doing behind the scenes, working with the powers that be. But I really would love the public just to caress it because that's what it deserves, and then just let it go.
Once they hear it, they will.
Yeah, and I think it'll be somebody hears it, tell a friend to tell that type of thing. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna catch on kind of like wildfire. You know what I mean? One person hears it, they tell a friend, tells another friend. Before you know it, it's like a little mini viral thing that's happening. Like, did you hear this? Have you heard? You know what I mean? Because I don't feel as if it can go unnoticed for too long. It's too good of a project.
You know what's something funny? Joel, I didn't know you knew Dr. Dre. Mm-hmm. He was my neighbor. We lived in Westchester Estates together.
Get out of here. Yeah, he gave me my first record deal ever.
No,
wow.
See how crazy all this is? And
wow.
And he used to stop by my house all the time with, everybody. He had everybody there. His Halloween party, nobody would go until 11 o'clock at night because that's when everybody was there. And he had the biggest. My house was 10,000 square foot. His house was 15,000 square foot. Looked like a castle.
Oh, goodness.
And it was right below Mulholland. And we used to laugh all the time because he stopped so many times when he found out I was in The Godfather because he loved The Godfather. And he says to me, "Man, you didn't tell me you were in The Godfather." I said, "Well, you didn't tell me you were Dr. Dre." I said, I was going to go up there one day. I was sick. I thought you were really a doctor.
Wow. Wow.
You did. He might have killed you.
No, but it's so funny because my house was four houses from the gate. And all he saw was Ferraris and Bentleys and all that. And when he started hanging, and then Shaq would come and Kobe. You know, I met Kobe. I put Kobe's wife in the first movie as a favor. I put her in a picture that I did called PCH. Beautiful lady when he first married her, and such a wonderful girl. And for her to be going through what she's doing now, but that whole neighborhood was crazy. But I mean, people that lived there, and it was, I can't mention them all because they're very private.
Crazy, bro.
But it's, you know,
how are you still telling me new stuff after 3 months of stories? I'm just hearing shit.
No, but I saw Dr. Dre last night, and I'm saying, should I call him on this? But I think he's just consumed. But we need, well, whatever. But last night was such a revelation, and now you're telling me this morning you know him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
my
crazy,
first break,
crazy
even my first
times.
break.
Eminem I never got though. I don't know. I don't know. How does he sustain himself? I never see him doing anything.
Eminem is he's just huge, Gianni. It's just nonstop, you know, support from his fan base is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They show up every single time he puts something out. He also gave me a record deal as well. So I was signed to him in 2012 with a group called Slaughterhouse. You know, we were on Shady Records with him. I went on world tours with him twice. Like, just a funny dude. We used to sit there and watch South Park episodes in the studio and crack up to each other, you know, crack up for hours. Real to himself kind of person. Right, you know?
Right.
Just how
well, he looks it, obviously.
Yep.
He's definitely an individual.
Yep.
That's but not taking orders.
Yeah, exactly. But he loves it. He's loved it since he was a little kid.
No, but you know, but again, last night with Omens in my life, and when I saw that, you know, I've been watching, as we've done some stuff with Any Given Sunday, so you know I've got involved with football in different levels. But I think we all have to say, last night's halftime show was totally different than I've ever seen.
It was.
And to me, I'm saying, look at this. They're doing a 20-minute, you know, promoting our rap album.
Yeah.
There was, you know, how many millions of people saw that last night and probably never listened to rap in their life. So they at least they're going to know the word today. And not to step forward for what we're doing with something new in a generation that's never heard rap. Like me, I never listened to rap. I mean, I did indirectly with parties and kids and stuff like that, but, you know, it's...
but you're a fan now.
Oh, no, man. I'm a fan. What are you talking about? I'm on a label, man.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually friends with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and his Hamilton kind of did the same thing for Broadway. Yep. Like people went to see Hamilton, was like, what the heck did I just watch? It's like high level poetry in rap form on that stage, you know? So it's like, you know.
So I didn't even know Hamilton was rap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. See, I'm learning something new here.
And this is what I said. This has to get made into a play at some point because this is actually real life events of a real person that's still here and can vouch for every story told. So it has to be put into that form at some point.
And a wide-ranging audience was exposed to hip hop because of Hamilton.
Dude, when I went to the premiere, I was looking to the left and right of me, and these were older gentlemen and women that were playgoers. They go to plays.
He's on the Hamilton soundtrack.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know that I just see their jaws are dropped. They've never seen that highest level of lyricism in front of them ever before. Before they didn't listen to rap, so it's the first time he gave them rap on a stage in theater, and they were just blown away. They instantaneously appreciated it. You know, it was so welcoming in the community.
And you know, after the show was around a while, and it's going to be around forever, people are saying, "Hey, there must be something to this," and they're willing to pay $250 a seat I mean, Broadway is not cheap.
That's right.
You know, so when they went in there after the word got out, this is rap, and they still want to see it. Say, yeah, I mean,
I didn't know it until now. I didn't know it. And
Yeah.
what was his name? I mean, he's got accolades all over the world.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I'm calling him tomorrow. See if he wants to do another, see if he wants to produce another play.
After that, Gianni's going to call me and say,
That's
"You're
when
not
you
gonna
go to the
He also-
source. Give him another one.
He also did In the Heights, Gianni. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
There's another one on Broadway that was good.
Oh wow, okay. So he don't need us. He's got a lot of material.
But here's the thing about it. He's a fan of Joell. Like, he's a fan of the way Joell writes. So what I was saying, and I don't think I even mentioned this to you, Gianni, is that at some point, I think that's a road to travel down. Meeting, like
Joell, give him a call. I'll buy him lunch.
I will.
You never
I will.
know, man. I
will.
got everybody that has financed Jersey boys. I got money people. And that's
Right.
what plays
Right.
need. I got
Yep.
billionaires. So
Yep.
that may be a good collaboration.
Yeah.
You'll be not that he needs a favor, but you're bringing him something totally different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And like Joell was saying, imagine at the end of the show, you can walk out and now they see the real life Godfather of Hollywood that the story was made about.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to do it
In
fast.
terms-
I'm getting old. I want to walk out now. Come out and I'll walk out.
All right, I'll call him right after this interview.
Well, I'll tell you guys, it's every time we get together, it's exciting. And see how we just found out another facet of the stone that's in our group, controllable. Not controllable, but it's approachable.
Right.
That's big. That's huge. But,
Yeah.
I like striking when the iron's hot. I'm serious about calling this guy. I could put the money together for the play tomorrow morning.
Right.
And with a guy like that, who couldn't? Hello. Not that, he don't need us. But on a gangster play in rap on Broadway? Hello.
Crazy.
Do you know how crazy that would be? That would be insane, man. That
Always
would be
looking for
insane.
something new and different. That's how Hamilton made it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So imagine all the voices that Joell is doing on that project. You have actors playing those parts, reciting
Unreal.
his lines, and it turns into something
Unreal.
incredible. More incredible. Not incredible. It's already incredible, but more incredible.
That's crazy, man.
Yep.
Well, I tell you, I'm not saying goodbye to you guys because I'm seeing you every Thursday the rest of my life until we just keep going. But thank you for sharing with our audience now. And our audience, I'm going to put your feet to the fire now. You got to tell anybody you know that can hear, listen, or whatever. On the 25th, you got to find this, listen to it, and brag about it, and help us promote it. And I thank you again. I'll see you Thursday,
Yes,
and we'll
sir.
keep on going, man.
Oh, Joell, you'll see me Thursday. Joell is actually.
Oh,
heading
that's
out
right.
to-
I know I know where he's going. And then
Yeah.
you're going, and congratulations. He's getting married.
Thank you, man.
He's
Thank
getting married to 22.
22.
you. Yeah.
Is that wild? Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
man.
guess what? It's
Thank you.
just the
Thank
two of them.
Oh yes, it's
That's smart.
Good one.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
just us two on 22.
That's right.
22.
That's right.
But you
But
promised.
Gianni, man.
He promised I could have a reception for him though privately when he gets
Yeah,
back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I gotta do that.
Absolutely.
It was great meeting you guys. I, for one, am very impressed with you, the music, and everything else that's involved in this project.
Thank you, Pat, man.
I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Megan.
Megan,
Anyway, I
nice
second
meeting
that.
you. Pat, nice meeting you. Gianni, I'll see you
We'll
Thursday.
see you.
my
We'll
friend.
see you at work, Gianni.
Yes, please. All right. God bless, man.
God
Travel
bless
safe.
everyone. All right,
Both of you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was a wrap on a show I hope you all support, obviously, for many, 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 many reasons. And hopefully I'm going to give you a lot of reasons and different avenues and venues to go see it and support it.
Can you imagine if this thing winds up on Broadway?
I'm not even thinking about it. Imagine it. It's going to happen. You know me. Now they gave me the seed. I didn't know Hamilton was rap. I never go to plays to begin with.
It's
Well,
great.
it shocked the hell out of me.
But
That-
Joel wrote for it too. Hello. Yeah. No, this is, you never know. You know, you could be talking to people and
Hamilton will be going on forever.
Yep.
And it's introducing new audiences to hip hop. It can only help us.
hello. Well, it was great seeing you, Megan, and Pat.
Say goodnight to our
Thank you,
audience.
sir.
Yes, have a great week, and we'll be back together next week. And I promise our audience, let them know, because I've been neglectful, and we all have been, with the mailbag. We're doing a complete mailbag show following this one, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
If you're feeling sad and lonely, there's a service I could render. I'm the one who loves you only. I could be so warm, so tender. Call me. Don't be afraid, you can call me. Maybe it's late, but
Thank
just
you for
call
tuning
me.
in to the Hollywood
Tell me
Godfather
and I'll be
podcast.
around.
You can contact Gianni Russo, Patrick Picciarelli, or myself, Megan Horan, with your questions and comments through the contact section of our website, HollywoodGodfatherPodcast.com, which is where you can also subscribe to our weekly newsletter. You can also call and leave us a message at 646-776-3038. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Hollywood Godfather and on Facebook, as well as leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'd like to know what you'd like about what we're doing, what you'd like to hear in the future, and anything else you might suggest to improve our podcast. Most importantly, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next week with stories of the mob and Hollywood, as well as answers to your messages. Good night.
Call me. Don't be afraid, you can call me. Maybe it's late, but just call me. Tell me and I'll be around. I'll be around. Give me a call. When I was 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small town girls and soft summer nights. We'd hide from the lights on the village green